they made a huge distinction between not allowing someone to vote and allowing people who shouldn't be allowed to vote to counteract that.
And you saw that?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Watching CNN or Fox News at night, the returns come in, and the mayor of Gary was on saying that they were going to count the absentee ballots by hand. When in fact, we had precinct inspectors on the phone at 11 o'clock at night saying that's a lie. We had to have those numbers, absentee ballots, turned into City Hall. They were picked up by Corey at 10:30 this morning. All of the numbers had to be at City Hall. So the voter fraud was amazing, and that's why I could never vote for Barack Obama. We saw not only voters being harassed, but campaign workers like myself and others were harassed. I am still being harassed on the street where I live. If this is acceptable in American politics, then our country is in trouble.
What was interesting is that there was a meeting held to prepare for the Senate District Convention where the sign-in sheets were available for review, and the sign-in sheets that I had seen that didn't have any presidential preference, many of them had a presidential preference written in on the same handwritings. One of the people that was written in for Obama was a senior citizen who is a diehard Hillary Clinton supporter. And she signed.
You know this for a fact.
I know this for a fact, and she signed a complaint to that effect. But what was even more concerning to me was that in the packet from my precinct, the delegate list, they submitted a different list of the however many were allotted. They were different people. They picked different people after they had the precinct convention. And what called attention to it is that in their haste to put in different people, they forgot to put in a list of alternates.
So at 10:30, 11, he comes and says, so where are we now? And we said, well, now we are verifying. This has been tabulated. It shows 65% Obama, 35% Clinton. And now we are verifying these individual sign-in sheets. And he's saying, we don't have, delegates are leaving. We won't have anyone on the convention floor. Do you think you can just say, we stand by this result, whatever is on the board? Now, we had verified like 10 or 15, and none of them matched with what was on the board. There were 2 off, 3 off, 1 off in each and every precinct. So, you count 1 and 2, and how many precincts we have? 150 precincts? That's like how many delegates off? How can you declare a result with so much margin of error? It's like what, 70% margin of error?
The party's gone. It's been taken over by the Obama people.
And this is America. I didn't think we would do that here.
I want to talk about a phone call that I received from one of the senators' counts as it relates to my race as the chair of the Texas Democratic Party. One late afternoon, and I guess I had received perhaps 2 or 3 calls from him, and I had more or less put them off because that day had been a kind of bad day for me because in my everyday life, I serve as a hospice chaplain. So in my everyday life, I probably, when he called, I told him I would talk to him later. But he pursued me and he continued to call. When he called, he asked me 2 major questions. He said, Roy, I want you to know if you run, we are not going to be there for you. And I'm trying to figure out, we? Who are you talking about? We. And so he went on to talk about, I guess, again, after he clarified things, talking about the Obama team was not going to be there to support me.
How did that make you feel?
Did you I asked him, was he speaking for the senator? He told me he would not go on camera to say that he was speaking for the senator, but it was a reality. Listen to him loud and clear that he would not support me and that they preferred that I would get out of the race. If I did not get out of the race, that the present superdelegate title and vote that I held, that they would make sure that if I lost, because I didn't get out of the race, that they would take it. And they have definitely, they have taken it. It's one thing to lose, but it's another thing when you don't play the cards fair and that the rules that are in place, you bid them all out of place for you to win and become victorious.
I thought it was an isolated incident just in my precinct. It's not. That's what bothers me. It's like, how can we just not look at the system as like, if it happens in every precinct, and every one of us has a very, very similar story. It's like, I cannot just believe that, we don't see it as like, a manipulated situation where I feel like, and people told me from Obama supporters who went to the trainings have told me that they have been trained to be aggressive.
They knew from the beginning, caucus, all the problems with the security holes in the caucus. They knew they filtered out people. They knew about the low turnout rates. They must have known in other elections how many votes from these caucus states are not exact votes, but just an estimate that's projected by the news organizations.
Jay, but you do not start the convention until all credentials have been challenged. I have people who have not gotten credentials, and we're not going to start this convention until my people are credentialed. Okay. Precinct 448.
Can I say this?
Yes.
You had a deadline to challenge.
No, ma'am, they're not on the sign-up. They were not on the sign-up list.
That's not my job.
That's the credentials committee. That's why I'm saying you cannot start the convention until the credentials committee has done their business. And if you do, this whole convention is wrong.
I will not be silent now. I've got to tell the truth. And I won't step down just 'cause you asked me to. When you lie and cheat and steal, bury your own to make a deal. I've been in chains and I don't like the way it feels. Bet you got a cure for me. Bet you put me